Hello everyone and welcome to my next W.I.I.W.I.C.O where I talk about Pokemon and what if I was in charge of Pokemon. My last one was Super Smash Bros. If you haven't seen that yet, go check it out. I'll leave a link in the description along with at the end of this video. Now, this time I'm going to be talking about Pokemon, mainly what I would do with gameplay. This is mainly going to be the miscellaneous part, because honestly, I want to talk about gameplay first. Mainly people usually talk about what kind of Pokemon they'd have or stuff like that, but I want to leave that up to the next part in the video series. So without further ado, let's get on with it. Now for starts, of course, I'm going to want it on the Switch. It's going to be a nice HD crisp glory. And it's also going to be, I know, we just had Alola and we've also had Unova, but I want to have a California region. I think it would be pretty cool. There's a large range of diversity they could have, because I've been to California before, and both of my parents have as well. And there's deserts there. There are icy mountains there to go skiing on and stuff like that. So you have your desert, you have your ice. Then there's also lots and lots of nice forests. There's some lakes, as you can see on the picture on the screen. And so I've already came up with what the region would look like, and here's the region map. I call it Sondar. You start out in the furthest top town, the very top blue square. That's where you start out, and you continue on your journey from there until you get to the yellow one, which is Sparkler City, which is where the league takes place, along with it also being the capital of the whole region. Now, one last thing I also want to say before moving on to the names is that Trial Captains were in Alola, but I don't want that again. As cool as it was, I think that should be an Alola only thing and would be going back to gym leaders, as I think Pokemon's supposed to be. Not trying to say anything against change, but this is how I want to see Pokemon. This is the prime of it. Anything else should honestly be kept to side series games and stuff like that. And now finally the part you guys have probably been waiting for. Usually it is two games like Diamond and Pearl, X and Y, or something like that. But instead, for good reasons I think I have, I'm going to have it be three, which is going to be Pokemon Nature, Pokemon Flair, and Pokemon Aqua. Now, I didn't make these logos. Like, the one for Super Smash Bros. Controversy I did, but these three were made by a user on a website I go on called Xemius Max. I'll also leave a link to him in the description. Sorry, there's a bug on my screen. But he's really cool. He's done lots of cool logos for me now and in the past as well. He made me a beautiful Zelda logo, which I will be using in a later W.I.I.W.I.C.O. But anyways, the reason why I'd have it be three is for two reasons, both from a business standpoint and from a fan standpoint. The first reason why is because that you could easily make more money off of it. The reason why they originally did two is because they want to make more money off of it, because by like putting different Pokemon in the two different versions. Well, if there's three, they can easily do that here as well. But there's also another reason why, like I already said. This one being from more of a story perspective, gameplay perspective, stuff like that. Now, as we all know, in the anime, Ash and his Greninja were able to get a special bond evolution thing called Ash Greninja. And I thought it was so cool that Ash was able to bond and forge a new transformation with his Pokemon through the bond he had. And I thought it'd be so cool if I could have that with my Chestnut, since I did choose Chespin. And I think it would be cool if anyone could do that with their Greninja or their Chestnut or their Froakie. And then I heard that something like that was coming to Sun and Moon, and I thought it was going to be so cool. And then I saw this. Not only was it just Greninja, but it was still Ash's Greninja. And that honestly made me kind of sad, because I wanted to have my own special Greninja. I mean, it could only be Greninja, I wouldn't be too sad with that. I would still be a little sad, but nonetheless, I want it to be my Greninja, but instead it's still Ash's Greninja. And so, with mine, this is just placeholder art. This isn't what the actual starters of my game would be, but this is kind of something like what I would want to do. I want you and your starter to be able to forge that special bond through a new kind of ability that only your starter can learn if it's your starter, called Starter's Bond, where it basically goes through something like Ash Greninja, and if it's your starter, it can actually get this in its second stage instead of in its third stage as well. So I think it would be cool to like forge that bond early on, and the stronger the bond is, the longer it would last and stuff like that. And so, enough on this, let's continue going. So, then, there's something new with the story. After Professor Oak asks if you're a boy and a girl, not Professor Oak, but the professor, after he asks all the ordinary questions, I want to throw in something new that has to do with the story, which will be in the third part more, but he'll ask, what do you want to do? Now, you'll only get two options to do the Pokemon League or performance contests, which would work more like how they did in the anime. But you get an option this time to do whatever it is you want to do. It's not just going for the same dream over and over again. I want people to be able to fulfill their own dreams. Not only that, but Pokemon originally represented to me the ability to choose, and I think if this was brought in, it would further emphasize this. And now, there's the Pokeball. You throw your Pokeball and the Pokemon goes inside, and I've heard lots of people talk about this, on how Pokemon are condensed in there, what does the inside of it look like, and so in my game, I would have Pokeball interiors, where for each of your individual Pokemon, you can design the inside of their Pokeball to make it their own living dream. Now also, there's certain things that will make them more happy, and again, this will depend on type, along with basically what their likes and dislikes are. But going off the type, say if there's a rock formation, you can buy it, and then it'll be rock type obviously. You give it to your rock type Pokemon, they'll like it a lot more than say an electric type or fire type would. Or then if you were to get like a fountain or something like that, obviously the water type would like that a lot better than the fire type or the fighting type or something like that. But I think it would be cool, the Pokemart or Pokemon Center, I think I'd combine the Pokemart and Pokemon Center into one again. But in the back of the Pokemon Center, there'll be a whole section for buying Pokeball interior stuff. And I think that would be cool. Now, there's also something that I want in that has been one of the things I've wanted ever since I found out trainer customization would be, after choosing if you're a boy or a girl, you'll just get this selection screen. You can change the skin, you can change the hair, you can change the eye colors, stuff like that would make it so much more personal instead of having to wait till later on in the game. I also think it'd be cool if you could choose between 2 or 3 different outfits. I think it'll just add so much more depth to Pokemon than what it already is. Now, I'll also add 2 more types, robotic and sound type. Everyone could tell that I was going to add a new type at least. Probably no one could guess I would add 2. Of course I want it to be robotic and sound because, well, they're both already widely represented in Pokemon, I feel, so why not have them? And so, of course, the Pokemon type chart would be updated to where it would fit these 2 new typings, along with fixing some things in the past that I didn't think make sense, like how fire is not strong against flying for cooking chicken, and water being strong against ghosts, mainly because of the stuff that happened in Ninjago. But the typing thing would be updated to include these 2 new types and make a few more things make sense. And of course, there'd be a new evolution for both of these, but that's going to be a topic for next video. Before I end this video off, I wanted to add that this is already a thing on Fantendo, a website that I go on. I added this page on, and it has a good chunk of the stuff I already talked about, along with even more. I'll leave a link to that in the description as well. I'm leaving a lot of stuff in the description apparently, but go ahead, check that out. I also had Super Smash Bros. Controversy on there, so if you want, you can also search that up as well, and you'll be able to see what I've already done with that. Of course, I'm going to be uploading both of them in the future, but I think it'd be cool if you guys knew about this, especially since this is where I started. Basically, the general idea of my W.I.I.W.I.C.O series came from this website. What I would do with games because, well, on this website, it's all about pretending you're making your own games. Well, that's all for now. That was everything gameplay-wise that I would do if I was in charge of my own Pokemon game for the Switch. I know there's an actual Pokemon game coming out for the Switch, and one last thing I forgot to mention is how I would have multiplayer, since in the story, spoiler alert, you would have a sibling, and so you can either go solo or have a friend be your sibling that will play with you. But that's all for now. Next time I'll be doing the actual Pokemon. See you all then. Bye.